Hey guys, good evening. My name is Zia and welcome to Crypto Polaris. Today is a special show because this is a special request by someone named Professor Zen on my X Twitter Spaces, where I talk frequently with a lot of folks. And her and another lady named Bitcoin Bum does a lot of Bitcoin discussion. So I wanted to do this special one. So today is all about Ethereum versus Solana. Yes, you heard me right. A lot of you, including Professor Zen, is asking me, Zia, should I buy Ethereum or should I buy Solana? So let's get right into it. This is going to be a little extended, some deep dive. I'm going to have a lot of slides, but I will not be talking about every little detail. So feel free to pause it and look at it very carefully. I will touch on some of those things, but at the end of the day, we're going to get to what you are looking for, which is price prediction. And also, which one would Zia buy? That everyone has been asking me. So let's get started here. And let me just go to the other page. All right, today's agenda: battle for smart contract business. Well, what the heck is smart contract? I'll get to it in a second. But primarily, why was Ethereum created when we already had Bitcoin? Then, after Ethereum, why was Solana created when we already had Ethereum? So we really need to understand the chronology of all of these things. First Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then Solana. Why? And once you understand why, I think you will be able to make better decisions in terms of what you should invest in and who are the backers. So we will look at just all the different numbers, tokenomics, what is doing what, how fast is speed everything, all of those things. I'm going to walk you through it, and I will try to do this in less than 20 minutes if it's possible. So then let's look at tokenomics. You know what tokenomics is? It's just like when you have a stock, how many shares of stock do you have? So when you have too many, that has its own set of problems, and the price is low because there are a lot of them. So obviously the price is going to be low. And then when you have very few shares, then the price is going to be high. And there is this correlation, financial correlation, that most of you guys understand. We won't get into all of that. I'm just going to show you the numbers. All right. And who are the major investors and the backers? That really matters, guys. How things become ubiquitous, or even earlier than that, how the adoption takes place has a lot to do with marketing, a lot of money being invested. So we'll talk about that. And really, some of the catalyst, you want to understand why Solana or Ethereum, why are they going to keep going up if they do go up? So we'll talk about that. Which one would Zia pick? I'll try to do my best. Not a financial advice. That's what I would do. And it's a journey, guys. You have to constantly educate yourself. And then finally, I'm sure you're fast forwarding right now to talk about price prediction. So let me move over here and dive right into it. Okay, guys, why was Ethereum created? There was Bitcoin, right? Ethereum was created to go way beyond Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a store of value. It doesn't do anything. It's like money. You can transact back and forth, but that money is dumb money, in a sense that, no offense, I'm a Bitcoin lover, but no offense to Bitcoin guys, it's just purely dumb. It cannot do complicated thinking on the money. Vitalik Buterin, who is the founder, one of many founders, but the key player, thought about this, and he goes, I put that in code. I thought Bitcoin needed a scripting language. No one else agreed, so I decided to do it. What is scripting language? So when you have some money, Bitcoin is just money that you and I can transfer. But then he wanted to create something above and beyond Bitcoin that is programmable, that I can program, that you and I can transact. So if certain conditions happen, then certain money will be released. You can't do that in Bitcoin. It's all manual. You and I verbally agree, sign a piece of paper, we transfer Bitcoin back and forth, or simple purchases of burger or Coca Cola, what have you. But in complex worlds, such as buying a house, you have an escrow account, you have a middleman, so many middlemen. With the advent of an invention with Ethereum, you can actually get rid of all these middlemen and program this money to trigger A, B, C, D conditions, then release the money. So, in a fancy way, we call that smart contract. And you're going to hear that a lot in the world of Ethereum and Solana. So I'm taking a little time to explain what smart contract is. Smart contract is nothing more than you are able to program, write if then else statement, and a bunch of other things that programmers do, and certain conditions happen, then it triggers the transfer of money. In the case of Ethereum, it transfers ETH. Okay. And of course, not just ETH, because Ethereum allows you to create all sorts of other tokens. All right. I'm getting too deep into it, but I just simply wanted to explain why Ethereum was created. All right. Ethereum is nothing more than a smart contract that is decentralized. Now, so these are some of the things I talked about. Smart contract. You can do decentralized finance, which is a bank that doesn't need a bank. And NFTs, everybody knows about NFTs, those pictures and whatnot. That NFT was a good way to prove that this concept works. DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. What does that mean? Think of that as if you live in a housing community, you have HOA, homeowners association, you all get to vote. So in DAO, that's what DAO is. So when you have decentralized tokens, you need to be able to vote. That's what that is. All right, let's keep going. You guys can look at all the details. And now the question is, why the heck was Solana created when we already had Ethereum? It's because it was trying to solve the problems of Ethereum. Ethereum is really slow, guys. Ethereum was getting congested. Back in 2017, there was a thing called CryptoKitty. And it was like an NFT that was being bought and sold on Ethereum. And it clogged Ethereum, okay? And just to buy something that's $10, it was costing you $20 on Ethereum. It's called gas price. It's a fee on Ethereum that keeps going higher and higher and higher. I've seen as high as $150 to just to do one transaction. So Solana was trying to solve these problems, and Solana is really fast. It can do up to theoretically 1 million transactions per second. Right now in real world, it does about 65,000 transactions per second. So these are all the reasons the guy named Anatoly Yakovenko is the founder with another gentleman, founded Solana. Why is this called Solana? He loves the beach in California, Solana Beach. And that's why he named it Solana. All right. The rest you guys can read. I won't get into it. So let's keep going here. So there is really no difference in terms of functionality, what Ethereum and Solana does. But technically, there is a day and night difference. Speed wise, day and night difference. Fees wise, day and night difference. Okay. These are the things we need to think about. Nothing more than that. Again, it's does the same thing as Ethereum. It's in a DeFi world, NFT world, payment world, and gaming. It's really fast with gaming. If you do games, two-dimensional games, graphics and everything, it needs to be really fast. In Ethereum, it's really slow. And I'm talking about Ethereum, the native Ethereum, okay? That's called level 1. So we're comparing level 1 Solana, level 1 Ethereum. All right, let's keep chugging along. A little bit about speed. You see the second one, speed, 65,000 transactions per second. Ethereum's like 20 to 30 transactions per second. There's a day and night difference in speed. Okay. The rest you guys can read about. All right. It's very important to understand who the founders are. So, founders of Ethereum, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that founded Ethereum. But the only guy's name that you always hear is Vitalik because he's very outgoing. Not really. He's very unique looking and ingenious looking. So he stands out. But the point here is he's still with Ethereum. He's still driving Ethereum. But Gavin Wood has left. He is the original one that created the programming language on Ethereum called Solidity. He left and he created another blockchain called Polkadot, something we will talk about someday in the future. That's also a big deal. Polkadot blockchain, completely different. And then another founder left, and now he started Consensus, which really builds stuff on Ethereum. So these are very successful people. Charles Hoskin, he left and started Cardano, another competing against Solana and Ethereum. And then we got a few other folks that are doing a lot of different things. So these are brilliant guys that have started other businesses and they are multi-millionaire, doing really well for themselves. All right, let's keep going. And then talking about founders for Solana, Anatoly, he is the brains behind Solana. He has worked at Qualcomm. Qualcomm are chip makers. He understands how to do things really fast. He is a double E, meaning electronic engineer. The rest of the guys are computer science. They think in terms of software. This guy thinks in terms of hardware, where speed is everything. He comes from the world of telecom, phones and cell phones and whatnot. Those have to happen in speed of light. That's why Solana was built ground up to be super, super fast against Ethereum. All right. And the other guy named Raj, he's really more of a business guy and he's involved as well. Okay, just the numbers. Upper left hand side, technology. Let's talk about throughput, like how fast can things be processed. As I said, 65,000 TPS, transactions per second, versus 30 transactions per second. Finality matters. How quickly things get written down in the blockchain, 2 to 3 seconds versus 15 seconds. Look at the fees. Look at the fees. 0.00025 of a dollar to do one transaction. But in the case of Ethereum, from 50 cents all the way up to $50 or more. That's ridiculous. So Solana has solved those problems. Yes, there are other solutions on top of Ethereum that addresses that, but that's not Ethereum. Those things do things at the risk of security. And that's a deep dive. We won't get into it. All right, performance wise, performance and adoption, we're going to get into that a lot. I've shown you here. And on the right side, the biggest problem of Solana, it went down a lot. It's been quite stable for last year and a half, but it goes down majorly in crashing. And that's a problem. Ethereum has an uptime, tremendous uptime. So Ethereum has that going, even though the fees are really high. Okay, price performance. You can see it. Today's price, $151 for Solana, $2,600 for Ethereum. Guys, this dollar value doesn't mean anything, okay? It's because Ethereum only has 150 million shares. Solana has 550 million shares. So market cap is what matters. So look in the bottom, 5-year performance. Solana blows everything out of the water because they were new. And Solana started at $1.54. Now it's at 150. That's 9,698%. You would go, wow, I need to invest in Solana. I would say, slow down, guys. It's already made a lot of run. So I'm going to show you what people are saying, what the prices are going to be. Ethereum, that's pretty good. Almost 700% increase. I wouldn't complain. I wish I had put more money into Ethereum and Solana way back when, but I didn't. But hey, we all learn. Okay, tokenomics, just what I touched on, meaning how many tokens are there. You can see Solana and you can see Ethereum. They're both bad in a sense that there is no limit like Bitcoin. Bitcoin, there can never be more than 21 million. Both of them can be changed. Solana originally started at 500 million. Now they have 577 million. Who knows what they're going to have next year? Could be 600 million. They can raise the cap. Same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum started with 72 million. Now look at them, 120 million. So it does have built in inflation, unlike Bitcoin that's going to zero. So that's one of the things I wanted to highlight. Let's keep going here. Who backs what? We touched on this. I've got another slide that talks about this, but I'll leave it here. You guys can pause it and take a look at it. But Ethereum does have major, major backers. Solana does have good. I mean, there's brand name over there. Andreessen Horowitz, big Silicon Valley guy. Visa's behind Solana. When BlackRock is behind Ethereum. Fidelity is behind Ethereum. There's a lot of big players here. And I've got another slide I want to show you. All right, so we talked about all of these things. This is a summary of major backers. On the side of Ethereum, just the brand name, Google Cloud, Visa, PayPal, JP Morgan. On the side of Solana, Visa plays on both sides, by the way. Visa's on that side, not knowing which side is going to win. Shopify, Stripe, Helium, Brave, and there's more names I'm going to show you in a second. But it's important to understand the early days of, do you guys remember the browsers? There were Netscape and there was something else. Eventually, Netscape disappeared. I don't know if Ethereum is the Netscape because Ethereum is evolving. So it's hard to say. Is Ethereum the BlackBerry and Solana is the iPhone? Hard to say, guys. I can't make that kind of a day and night difference. So let's keep going. Pros and cons. I touched on this. Look, all the cons on Solana, that's an X's. They have a huge problem. They have a huge problem that software goes down all the time. They're pretty stable last year or so, but they were going down all the time for hours on end, sometimes 17 hours. That is not how you can run business, but they are maturing. All right. They're very hard to program. If you're a programmer, Rust and C is very hard. Unlike Ethereum, Ethereum is Solidity, which is like a scripting language. It's easier. But Rust is much better language, but more complex. So those are all the things that are the differences. You can pause and take a look at it. I just wanted to consolidate everything for you guys. Okay. Now, here is the biggest strength and the weakness. Which one would I pick? Take a look at Ethereum versus Solana. Ethereum has over a million validators. It's very distributed. You can think of that as million computers running Ethereum. Unlike Solana, that's 3,000 to 3,500. So when we talk about decentralization, Ethereum is light years ahead. Solana is not. So that's one of the pillars of blockchain decentralization. More you have decentralized, the less hackable it is, less consolidation of power you have. So, something you want to think about. If you're a true religiously tied to blockchain, then you vote for Ethereum. If you think speed matters and you don't need as many computers, then Solana wins. So, it's very hard to figure this out. All right. Ethereum is super expensive to become a validator because you need 32 Ethereum to start. 32 times $2,500 each is a lot of money. With Solana, you don't really need anything, but you do need supercomputers, fast computers, and whatnot. So it's hardware wise very expensive, Solana. But to get into Solana, to be a validator, which is like a miner or of Bitcoin, is not that difficult. All right. Catalyst, and we're almost done, guys. Okay. Bear with me. Catalyst for Ethereum and Solana. Look at Ethereum. Look at BlackRock. They are hoarding Ethereum. And they're also been buying for a whole year. Every month you're hearing BlackRock buying Ethereum, Ethereum, Ethereum. So they know something we don't or I don't. Look at Deutsche Bank. Robinhood is working with Ethereum. Microsoft, JP Morgan, Samsung, MasterCard, Cisco. Big, big names. They're all integrating Ethereum. FedEx, Visa, Amazon, IBM, UBS, Credit Suisse. They're all working with Ethereum. These name brands are not working with Solana. There are others. But anyhow, Ethereum, out of their 150 million token, 50% are locked up in staking. So that's a good advantage for Ethereum. And Tom Lee recently, he's always on CNBC, is really talking about Ethereum. He just became the chairman of BitMine. Obviously, he's got financial interest to talk about it because now they're going to buy $250 million worth of Ethereum. Those are catalysts for Ethereum. Let's look at Solana. Solana, their biggest catalyst is they can run transactions, 1 million transactions per second. Now, think about that. Visa, MasterCard, when they process your credit card, they run about 40 to 50,000 transactions per second. So this is really industrial strength. Solana is industrial strength right now. Ethereum's got many, many versions to get close to Solana, but Solana keeps getting ahead in terms of speed. Now, of course, there are big names that are working with Solana. These are not small names, guys. Bank of America, HSBC, Visa, Shopify, Stripe, they're all integrating Solana. They all want to be part of this solution. So Solana also has an ETF coming, but for Ethereum, the ETF, spot ETF started back in July of last year. Okay. Let's see. Price predictions. This is the last slide, guys. I try to do it in 20 minutes. We're very close. So on the top, you can see the price prediction stuff. On the bottom is my spreadsheet. And I want you to understand what I'm trying to say. So each row in my spreadsheet is a Solana and Ethereum. And you see the red columns, current price column, 2025 column, and you see also 2030 column. So let's talk about this. The current prices are listed, and the circulating supply for Solana and Ethereum is listed to the left. So that means in today's world, Solana is worth $80 billion and Ethereum is worth $314 billion. That's today, which means Solana is 26% size wise of Ethereum. Okay. You can see that 26%. So now a lot of the people are predicting by end of 2025, Solana is going to be $325. If it's $325, then their market cap goes to $174 billion. For Ethereum, people are calling for 3392, which I think is quite doable in my opinion. I think they may even go close to 4 or 5,000. But anyhow, by end of 2025, we're looking at $409 billion for Ethereum. By then, 43%. So that means Solana becomes 43% of Ethereum. So they almost doubled, which is pretty good. So Solana is really speeding up. Now, so what happened from current price to end of 2025? You can see 2.15 and 1.3. That means how much bigger they grew from the current price. Okay. Now, a lot of the people are calling for 2030. So I use the high number. So they're saying Solana will hit 1351, which means the market cap is now 723 billion. That's 8.95 times from the current price. And with respect to high for Ethereum, you can see that 15,000 plus. That makes Ethereum $1.8 billion. That's the size of Bitcoin today. And I believe it will be there, if not higher. Not financial advice, but my price prediction. I think Ethereum could go to $20,000 to $30,000 by 2035. And with respect to Solana, I think you're looking at $2,000 to $4,000 Solana by 2035. So that's what I think based on a lot of the things that I know. Guys, I know this was long. I hope you enjoyed this. A lot of details in here. This is the foundational video that I did on Ethereum and Solana. Now I'll be doing a lot of shorter videos with a lot of news about Solana and Ethereum because a lot of you guys are interested. For full disclosure, currently I do not own any Solana and I do not own any Ethereum, but I'm thinking of buying it. And so, guys, good luck. If you like this video, give me a like, subscribe, of course, turn on your notification, and please write to me. Let me know what you think. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What do you guys want me to work on? I will certainly respond. And this video was done for Professor Zen. And she's the one who told me you should do this because I don't know which one to buy, Zia. So here you go. So thank you guys. Have a great night. Take care. Bye bye.